Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched WWE Monday Night Raw episode 1375, which was broadcast live from Phoenix, Arizona on September 30th, 2019. I was there in attendance at Talking Stick Resort Arena, and I had a whole lot of fun. It was a long day. Listen to my last episode, talked about all the travel getting here, but it was pretty worth it because I really enjoyed this show. It was jam-packed with stuff. Like it was like 7:30, and I was like, how are we not at the main event yet? This is crazy because we're in Pacific time over here, so the show ended at 8 o'clock, and now I'm decided I'd pull over into a parking spot while this mess at the parking garage gets sorted out. It's just a huge line to get out. I was just sitting in one spot, so I may as well just sit in the parking spot. And I'm half tempted to just get out of the car and go get some food after I record this. So we'll see how it clears up in the next few minutes. But so let me pull up my notes here. It was great to see David, who is in the Battery in the Blue Devils a few years ago. He lives here in Arizona, so it was cool to catch up with him a little bit before the show began. I bought my tickets after he got his, so I got him in the same section, but I was like way up. I was in the last row, which if you're a regular listener of the show, that's one of my preferred spots, either like the first row or the last row, because that's half as many, or it reduces one side that has people on it. So you either don't have to worry about the people being behind you, or you don't have to worry about people being in front of you. Those are my two preferred states. I think the best possible seat, in my opinion, is right in the middle of a section, so that people on either side of you, their quickest way out is away from you. That's ideal. And then to be in the front row of the lower bowl, I think, is the absolute best spot. And if that's in the center section, then that's fantastic. But any center of a section of the lower bowl is pretty great in the front row, in my opinion. But or if you luck out and everybody in your row has everything they need at the beginning of the show and have a strong constitution, as far as, I don't know if that's the right word for that, but as far as a tremendous bladder and bladder control and all that type of thing, and no emergencies and everything. But anyway, this time I was in the last row of the lower bowl, and that was pretty good. That's pretty great too, because when you stand up, you're not worried about you're standing up in front of other people, and have people like spilling stuff on your back, things like that. That exact thing hasn't happened to me before, but it is certainly a possibility. I think that same truck is still in the same spot. Maybe that's a different truck. But everything's at a standstill. I think I will go out and get something to eat. I found a hotel that's along the way. So tonight and tomorrow morning, I need to drive make my way from Phoenix to LAX. I have a flight in the early afternoon, and along the way, I found a hotel room, and maybe it's a super awful hotel. We'll find out. But it was only like $36. It's a California hotel room for $36. I don't think there's even any hotels in Colorado that are that cheap. At least not without, like, it's something that's not just like a closet somewhere that somehow got listed on a hotel booking website. But So I will get some actual sleep. I was originally just planning on sleeping in the car at a rest area or something, but having an actual bed and a shower and all of that included, because taking a rest stop shower at a truck stop is like $12. So for just another like $20, get the whole shebang, a whole full hotel room and all of that. Assume like a door that closes and things like that. So you get that at a truck stop shower too, the door that closes, but I think there's like a time limit that you can't just like fall asleep in there or something like that. Otherwise, I was like you could just take an air mattress in there and just fall asleep, and then maybe like banging on the door like, why are you taking so long in the shower? We have other drivers in here that need to get showers and stuff. And I'm not sure if you're technically allowed to do that if you're not a trucker. I don't know. They don't check anything. I think if you look like you're not a professional driver, then it might be like, maybe I don't think so. You seem like you'd be doing something else. But anyway, let's get to the actual show. Oh yeah, like I was saying, it's great to see David. But he took off after he. By the very end of the show, I didn't see him at his seats, but maybe he was still around, but just like outside or something. But I didn't see him. But it was great to catch up with him while the stands were not full yet, and then before I headed up to my my actual seat. But yeah, hopefully they have another. I like this arena very much. And I hope that they come back here for a pay-per-view sometime next year, unless it lines up with another pay-per-view like trip type of thing, like this whole shebang. I said shebang twice in this episode already. Unless it lines up with another trip, I don't think I would come out here again for just like if it's a bookend, part of a bookend for like a convention weekend, something like that. That would be really cool. But otherwise, I don't think I'll come out here unless it's for a pay-per-view. I could see them doing like an Extreme Rules here. That would be pretty cool. I don't know what that happened just was. But anyway, I think just a few more minutes I'll be able to get going out of here. There's still a standstill, but my level is clear of people in the queue. So that's a good sign. I've done a few of these in-car episodes after shows where I'm just waiting in the parking lot for the parking lots to clear. But I did make the unfortunate choice of not visiting the restroom before I absolutely had time. That would have made the most sense to just, wait in line for the restroom for a while, because I would just be waiting out here in line in the parking lot. And that's also part of why I think I'm going to go grab some food somewhere in a bit. But let's talk about the show itself. On Main Event, I believe the commentary team for Main Event was Byron, Dio, and Mickie James. But I was so far away from them, I just barely see what was going on, at least on the commentary area of the stage. So I think it was Mickie James, because it was whoever it was had a female haircut. That's all I could go off of, and had darker hair. So I think it was Mickie James. But I think I'll check out that episode just to see what the commentary team is like, and also check out the broadcast version of this show on my DVR to hear this new commentary team on Raw of Dio and Vic and Jerry Lawler. So from what I've heard, it was pretty good. But like, a first full show of a brand new commentary team. I'm sure there's going to be some bumps along the way, because even the teams that have been doing it forever, they make mistakes too. So I say, don't be too hard on them. I haven't heard it myself, so maybe if they are really bad, they're making mistakes like every sentence, then yeah, let's be hard on them. But it's a first go. We'll see if they improve. If they it's every other sentence next week and all that kind of thing. No, from what I've heard, they did a great job. So on main events, getting off of commentary here, we had Mojo Rawley versus Noe Jose. Mojo Rawley won that match. And then we had Gran Metalik and Lince Dorado defeat EC3 and Eric Young. Then on the actual show, on this episode of Raw, we opened up with Rey Mysterio coming out talking about fighting Seth later in the night. Dominic there in the front row, and then Brock Lesnar comes out and he attacks Rey. He attacks Dominic. He attacks them both again and again and again and again. Dominic is taken away on a stretcher. Rey is distraught, and so they head off to the hospital in an ambulance. And I thought, oh, maybe in the ambulance, one of the paramedics is the Fiend. But Rey was safe from the Fiend tonight. Other people were not. Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss. Sasha won that match. And then Becky, who was on commentary, well, she was I think she was on commentary for a second, but then was on the commentary table for most of the match, probably standing on everybody's notes. And if there were any mistakes, I say it's probably her fault for smudging up the notes with the soles of her shoes. But Becky attacked, after the match, attacked Sasha and said, you made it personal, I'm going to make it painful. So that was a pretty good line. Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, they defended their championships against Heavy Machinery successfully. But that was a pretty fun match. We had the Miz TV segment hyping up Crown Jewel, that we're going to have Ric Flair's team versus Hulk Hogan's team. Each of them have a team of 5. So it's a pre-Survivor Series match. I don't know if it's they didn't say if it was like an elimination type match or whatever, but the team captains are Seth Rollins for Team Hogan and Randy Orton for Team Flair. So we get this real quick thing, this scuffle, Randy versus Seth. A match happens, they're like jumping over the carpet as they're rolling it up and all of that. But King Corbin comes out, they both attack Seth, and then Rusev comes out and makes the save. And they're like, is Rusev a good guy now? No, as it turns out, he was only doing it to gain favor with Seth, to gain a favor from Seth, and that favor is the Universal Championship match tonight in Rey Mysterio's place. And so we'll get to that in a second. The Viking Raiders defeated the Orange County, or the original club, the OC. We had Cesaro backstage applauding Brock's actions, attacking Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. Is that his last name? No, I don't know. Ricochet comes over, is like, you wouldn't do any of that if he was here. So let's fight. And so they fight, and Ricochet wins. And it was a really good match. There's some great stuff in there. Then we had a special episode of Firefly. All of them are special. Firefly Funhouse, where Ramblin' Rabbit dies, and nobody's really bothered about it. He's like, oh well, and just tosses him aside. All of the inhabitants of the Funhouse are scared of the cell, and Bray says, well, I'll go talk to the Fiend and tell him to be nice to Seth Rollins. And then he jumps back in the frame and says, just kidding. I was a little bit disappointed that he didn't end this one with See You in Hell. It was the last, he's going to see him in hell, and he didn't say See You in Hell this time. That was a bummer. Then we had AJ Styles versus Cedric Alexander. Both of these guys are so freaking great. This match is awesome, and if it's just these two every single week from now on, forever, I'd be totally fine with that. And Cedric would have to win at least once out of the 50 matches that they have, but I really enjoy it. And the last counter into that Styles clash, that was just awesome. It was too sweet, in fact. We had a match that I didn't pay attention to at all. Lacey Evans versus Natalya. Lacey won. I don't know how she won, but the response to it online, I saw some comments and people were not enjoying that match very much at all, if any. If any, not at all, if any. What? That doesn't make sense. And then a backstage interview, Maria Kanellis admits that Rusev isn't the father, but of her child, but something about whatever's going on with Lana, because Rusev was asked in an interview earlier about Lana, and he said nothing, and then she's like, oh well, moving on. Why'd you help Seth? And then he explained that, and that's when he challenged him for the championship match to end the night. So, and then Sasha comes in and interrupts that interview with Maria to say, to tell Becky that she's going to show her carnage. And so I think that's going to be my first. I was considering doing wrestlers and wrestlers and. Yeah, I should just Marvel characters, even though I don't know Marvel characters as well as DC characters currently, but they have a lot more possibilities. And this is a great place to start, I think, because Sasha says that she's going to show Becky carnage in the cell. And so I want to draw Carnage Sasha. I think that would be really cool. If I can, I don't know if I can draw it very well. I've never drawn Carnage. Well, way back when, I loved drawing the other guy, Venom. And I think I drew Carnage a couple of times, so I think I can maybe pull it off. We'll see. Once I get to a hotel, mostly it's going to be at the airport and then on my flight and stuff that I'll be have time to be doing the drawing stuff. But then we had our main event, Seth Rollins versus Rusev. But on the stage there, Randy Orton, this is my favorite part of the night. So Randy Orton and Corbin Big King Corbin. He has his throne out there, and he comes out, and this is during a commercial break. He's there sitting on the throne looking all cool, and then it falls apart underneath him. And I just barely saw it actually happen, and I really hope somebody posts a video of it. So search on Reddit, search on Twitter, Corbin throne, and I think that'll probably get you what you need for that. But oh man, it's so funny. Randy Orton was doubled over laughing, and then we come back from commercial, and they have to just stand there. I mean, Randy would have to stand there anyway, but Corbin just looking so out of it, like things went terribly wrong, but it was really, really funny. Anyway, what happened at the end of the so things are going well for everybody, I guess. There's an incredible super kick by Rusev, or maybe it was a spinning kick. I don't know what that knocked Seth out of the sky. I loved that. But Bobby Lashley comes out, and then he holds his hand out to summon Lana, and then they make out for like 10 minutes. It felt like 10 minutes. It felt like 20 minutes that they were just making out on the stage. And yeah, so that happened. And then the Fiend attacked Seth Rollins, and that ended the show. But after that, we had a quick match, like a quasi match between Seth and the Fiend. The Fiend threw Seth back into the ring, and it was interesting. I can't remember exactly what was happening. There's lots of curb stomps, but Fiend was ultimately unaffected, and then he disappeared before the match could end. He was just playing mind games with Seth. So I am really looking forward to Hell in a Cell. It's gonna be awesome. I think. I know it. I have a feeling, and I'm really excited for it. So that's pretty much it. I'll have another episode soon. Maybe I'll do one tomorrow, having caught up on some other stuff. So a non-wrestling episode. But for sure, I'll be back talking about AEW. And then this week's NXT shortly after that. I'll always do those as separate episodes, I think. So if you like one and don't like the other, then you don't have to listen to them combined into one episode, which could be a possibility, but I'm not going to do that. So let me know what you thought about this episode of Raw. What did you think of commentary? Because I couldn't hear it being there in person. I might actually during this drive watch at least part of the show so I can check out how commentary was. So let me know what you thought by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. And stay safe out there in all the infinite multiverses so I can see you next time here on TIW Podcasts. Bye!